Greetings, all you smileys out there, and welcome to Undeclared Bajor. All of them. Everybody, you got a smile on your face, you are welcome. This is Undeclared Bajor, a Star Trek Deep Space Nine rewatch. My name is Fletcher. About to say hello is Data.
Yo!
Today we're going to recap, discuss, and rate Season 3, Episode 19? Wow.
That sounds right.
Yep, that's what it says. Okay.
Yep. Sure enough.
Through the Looking Glass. Alternate title, Return to Alternate Hairdo Land.
I mean, it's not like O'Brien has an alternate hairdo, or Sisko for that matter.
True. Well, I mean, we don't know what Sisko's hairdo looks like, so.
Well, he's dead now, so
Yeah,
who cares?
alternates. He could have had, big long hair. We don't know. Title review. This is what I think the last Mirror Universe episode should have been called.
Yeah. I mean, for a Mirror Universe episode, it's pretty much perfect title.
Yeah, I mean, pretty. It's like, did they just not think of it last time? Or?
Yeah, that's probably what it was. Like the last episode or the last line of the episode is Kira being like, "We've been through the Looking Glass" or whatever.
Right.
So it's like, man, we should have done that. Oh well, too late now.
Yep. It's like, shoot, we already put it on there and we can't scratch it off. Our discussion will contain full spoilers for the series up through this episode. However, we will try to keep spoilers for later in the series to an appropriate minimum. We won't reveal anything too big. Like when we go to the mirror universe of the mirror universe. You'd think that would just be the regular universe, but no.
Yeah, you would think that.
There's some subtle differences. It's almost like our universe, but it's like just a little bit different.
Somebody has a mustache. That's the only difference.
One person in the entire universe has a mustache that wouldn't normally. Can you find him?
So, interesting note about the episode number here is that this is one of the few times we've run into so far where the production number on the episode is not the same order as the air number on the episode, because they filmed the next episode before this one. And apparently late in the process of filming the episode after this, it was determined to make that a two-parter, and they'd already started pre-production on this one. So they're like, oh, we got to go film that one first.
I did notice a little weird discrepancy when I was coming up with that. I guess that would explain it. But this episode originally aired April 17th, 1995. It was written by Ira Steven Behr and Robert Hewitt Wolfe. Didn't they direct the last episode, you say? Yes, they did, I say. Or didn't they write it? And it was directed by Vinrich Kolbe. I just need to make a clip of Kate Mulgrew saying that name and edit it in every time I need to say it.
Vinrich Kolbe. That's how you say it.
Just have her go at it.
Vinrich Kolbe, German.
How many episodes does he direct anyway? Like, is this going to come up a lot more?
He hasn't been on this season so far, I think. I think he's over on Voyager at this point.
He will do... Stop it, cat. Ow! Fucking had to push him off my desk, so he bit me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more episodes in this series. So...
Okay. We'll keep an eye out for those. I'm just going to start calling Ira Steven Behr and Robert Hewitt Wolfe ISB/RHW.
Okay.
I think.
I'm sure that'll save tons of time.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to write on my, the thing that says, who the writers are. Anyway, we begin this episode with Quark in Sisko's office getting the third degree about a suspicious amount of voles he and Morn were found with.
It's almost as if we hadn't just recently covered that vole fighting was not going to be allowed. I feel like that was 2 episodes ago.
Mm-hmm. It's like, you were painting numbers on the voles. It's like, yeah, we were counting them. which is, I guess that's a pretty good way to count them. So
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to lose count, absolutely, you gotta put numbers on them.
And then he's like, "You think Morn was doing some vole fighting?" But coming out of his office, Sisko runs into O'Brien, who is wearing civilian clothes, but not one of his two normal civilian outfits. So not his middle school award ceremony outfit, and not his pimp outfit from the Lee Nollis mission.
A conspicuously different outfit than we've seen normal O'Brien wear. So that's supposed to call your attention to the fact that something weird is going on here. Although I have to take one step back. I love how committed Quark is to his lies. That
right.
Even after he's been caught, after they've already decided on the punishment, he's still just like, man, you're just going to break Morn's heart when you take those voles away from him. It's so sad. And I'm like, really? Like,
no, it's got to break his hearts, plural.
His hearts, that's right. Yeah, he has more than one heart.
Yep, that Quark. But that very subtle clue with the costume pays off immediately, because Sisko's like, "Hey, what's up, Chief?" And then O'Brien's like, "Get in the fucking transporter," and he pulls a gun on him and sticks it in his ribs.
Yep, very subtle.
But Sisko is just hilariously jaded with weird shenanigans at this point, so he just shrugs and obeys.
Like, I guess we'll go along with... I mean, honestly, from his perspective, he can't think there's that many places that they can transport him to from the station.
Uh-huh.
Although I guess he instantly must... I don't know. I don't know how quickly he figures out what is like... Is this Chief O'Brien under mind control? Is this some sort of like hologram O'Brien that somebody has got over themselves? Like, there's all sorts of possibilities for when a guy that you think you know suddenly is doing something weird.
Is this like another duplicate from the Gamma Quadrant? Is he traveling from the past again?
There's shapeshifters around now, so you never know.
Yeah, I'd be especially careful with all these like changelings running around. But they beam into a yellowly lit ship where Sisko asks where they are. "You could say we're through the looking glass," says O'Brien, whipping his sunglasses off.
He should have been wearing sunglasses. That would have made it better, actually.
Unfortunately, I don't think CSI Miami had been invented yet, so...
Sure.
They didn't know to do that.
Yeah.
But Sisko yoinks the gun away from O'Brien in the first of like 75 times that happens in this episode. And he's just like, "So is this the mirror universe or what?"
Yeah.
It's like that scene in that Spider-Man movie. He's like, "Wait, are you a Spider-Man from a different dimension?" He's like, "Oh yeah."
So apparently all of the lighting in the mirror universe, it says they use a bunch of red lights and they put like red filters over the lights and stuff to make it different from the white lights in our universe.
Sure. Maybe people's eyeballs work differently in the mirror universe or something.
Sure.
But O'Brien fills him in that the Benjamin Sisko from this universe is dead, and he needs our Sisko to take his place on a vital mission for the Terran Uprising, or Terran Uprising, against the Klingon-Cardassian Alliance. You see, there's apparently a scientist who is making a transspectral sensor array that will enable the Alliance to find all the Resistance bases in the Badlands. They can't just move the bases out of the Badlands because... reason not found.
Well, I mean, because you could find them. Like, they're in the Badlands, so they can't find them.
Okay, so anywhere else, you don't even need a transspectral sensor array. You could just... It doesn't
Regular
matter
sensors.
if you go into a cave somewhere, they'll find you. Okay.
Yeah, presumably. But
Or maybe all the caves not in the Badlands are, like, taken.
they're all occupied, and they've actually been gentrified, and they're very expensive to get those.
They're like these expensive condos.
I feel like what Sisko doesn't ever ask about is like, hey, can we get some of those transspectral sensors so that we can find like the Maquis back in my universe?
Yeah, he should have asked Jennifer about that. But that's a spoiler, because O'Brien wants Sisko to go talk to that scientist and tell her not to do that. For you see, the scientist is none other than Sisko's wife, Jennifer, who just happens to be his wife from the regular universe, too.
Right. Once again, going back to that, like, all the birth lines are somehow exactly the same. They marry the same people, except that they don't seem to have had a son in this version.
Yeah.
So I guess, once again, this is the moment where the generations diverge for some reason.
Because we know from last time that Molly O'Brien definitely doesn't exist.
I mean, not that he knows of. I guess, he could have hooked up with a Keiko at some point and had a kid that he doesn't know about.
Maybe. Jake, a little bit foggier, I think.
Yeah, I guess she never specifically says that we don't have a son in this episode, but you'd think that it would have come up if...
Yeah, I don't know. Meanwhile, on Terok Nor, Intendant Kira is enjoying her pharaoh-like lifestyle when she is interrupted by Jennifer, whom she apparently summoned and forgot about or something.
Well, I just assume that she likes, to have people encounter her like this. It's a power move.
She seemed annoyed when the doorbell rang, though, so I don't know. But yeah, Jennifer comes in, she's like, haha, your husband's dead. And then Jennifer's like, okay, whatever. And then she's like, how's work coming on that transspectral sensor array that we can use to kill the uprising and then start being nice to the Terrans? Which I'm like, I'm suspicious of this claim.
Apparently, I mean, no, they're going to just capture them, these murdering Terran rebels, so that everything will be nice and happy again, like it was a year ago.
Sure.
Like, Jennifer, you noticed how happy and nice everything was a year ago, right?
Oh, apparently she comes from one of the nicely treated families, so maybe she's not fully aware of the slave situation. I find it very hard to believe, though.
Right.
O'Brien gives Sisko a quick rundown of what he needs to know to impersonate his counterpart. So he's like, okay, you say Terrans as Terrans, and you just act like a crazy weirdo all the time, and you're just always like, and Sisko is like weirdly into it. He's like, yeah, sorry, I didn't have time to tell you everything. And Sisko's like, I'll just improvise. I've been meaning to put those theater extension courses to good use.
Yeah. He's going to do a lot of yes-anding and...
Yeah. So down in a Star Trek cave, Alt Bashir, who we've never seen before. So
right.
Where they found this guy, I don't know. But he's rocking a bad boy hairdo. And then Alt Ram and special guest star Alt Tuvok argue about their next step after Sisko's death.
Yep. Apparently Tuvok was included at the request of Rick Berman. The original script called for Sakona, that Maquis Vulcan, to show up here.
Yeah.
Under the reception section of this, it says, The Deseret News thought that Tim Russ's appearance as Tuvok was a ratings ploy. Gotta get those sweet, sweet Tuvok ratings.
Sure. I mean, was he like in all the promos or something?
I don't know.
So Bashir wants to suicide bomb Kira or something, but is soon interrupted when Sisko and O'Brien make a dramatic entrance. Also, I guess I forgot to mention in this scene, Rom seems to confirm that Quark is definitely dead.
Yeah, no, he's, as far as Rom knows, Quark is 100% dead.
Yeah, as far as Rom knows. I mean, you never know, especially in the Mirror Universe. Bashir seems incredibly suspicious of Sisko, but don't worry, it never pays off in any meaningful way. Then Alt Dax walks in and gives Sisko a big kiss and a slap. Apparently, in his briefing, O'Brien forgot to mention that Dax was his mistress.
Yeah, and apparently she's still Dax. She's not Jadzia, whatever her last name was before. So she has been joined with... I thought, like, he says something Dax, and I was like, oh, is that going to be like a catch because she's not Dax, and she's like, who the hell are you talking about? But no, she's a joined Trill.
I had that same thing because there was a moment where he was talking, he was like, and then Dax or something, and then it kind of cuts over to Dax, and she gets this weird look on her face.
Yeah.
So I was like, is she going to be like, who's Dax? But no, she's apparently just still Dax. Okay.
Yeah.
So does that mean that she was still Curzon, and then Sisko...
This is, excellent question.
Did he know Curzon, or...
Curzon was his slave mentor.
Dax drags Sisko back to their bed cave. And Sisko makes the weakest attempt to deflect her advances. However, Dax is not dissuaded, and Sisko and Dax do it.
I feel like apparently like this Sisko and alternate Sisko also like have sex the same way because she's not at all suspicious of like, you know, him kissing differently or performing differently in the bedroom. It's just like, nope, 100% exactly the same.
It's like his big tattoo or whatever isn't there. Where did that tattoo go of like an elephant like on your
the dragon across your chest? Harry Potter. Sisko's a big Harry Potter fan. It doesn't come up much in the show, but
right, yeah.
But it says in here, it says Avery Brooks was especially happy when he read the teleplay for this episode because in it, Sisko has sex for the first time since the show began, and not once, but twice. First with Jadzia Dax, and then with Kira Nerys.
Oh, did that happen too?
According to the teleplay, I guess. I wasn't, you know, it wasn't clear that it had definitely happened, but
I didn't get that from that scene, but okay.
Yeah, so, yeah, I don't know. And it must just, I feel like this would make going home really awkward because it's not
right.
like, oh, I've like slept with both of these people, kind of.
So also Garrick got in on that. Back on Terok Nor, Kira is chewing Garrick out for low productivity in the ore processing unit. But I've been having unproductive workers executed, says Garrick. No, says Kira. You have to just randomly kill people, regardless of their productivity level. Let me show you. Genius, says Garrick.
Yeah, I don't know that either of these approaches is gonna up your. I mean, if you can instantly replace the less productive ones with potentially more productive ones, and there's no like training ramp up that needs to occur, then maybe
right.
I could see how Garrick's would work, but it's like Kira may have just killed like the 3 most productive workers here. This can't be like the best approach.
Yeah, we're not trying to like have the best average production per worker. We're trying to have like total production.
Yeah.
So it's I don't think this is very well thought through. But Garrick insinuates that Kira might just be killing people because she's in a bad mood from Sisko's death. Which he's like, nuh-uh, you're in a bad mood from Sisko's death. Then after Sisko's ethically questionable hanky-panky with Dax tries to convince him to just run off with her and forget the rebellion. Sisko considers it, but he's like, nah, I better finish this mission so I can go home to where my stuff and son are. He goes to the planning cave and gets into a fistfight with Bashir about whether they should try to rescue Jennifer or just kill her. O'Brien makes a pretty good case that she would be a good get if they could get her on their side.
But surely, like, it would be nearly impossible to convince her to join the rebellion that she hates so much.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure, like, it would take way more than, like, one conversation to completely change her mind on something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you'd think. But Sisko's like, yep, that's what we're going to do, because I'm the boss. I'm the boss, Sisko, that you all know and obey. Don't question it.
Did you see how I punched that guy?
Yeah.
I totally punched that guy, and I will totally punch any of you guys if I need to.
Listen to me say Terrans. Terrans. What more do you need? We cut to Terok Nor, where Kira is getting a sexy massage, and then we pan over to see Rom, who happily snitches on Sisko and his plan. Oh, that devious Rom, you think.
Well, you know, Rom's kind of nice in the good universe, so he must be evil here, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the mindset we need to be in. O'Brien and Sisko fly to Terok Nor, scratching their ears the whole way. In some clever foreshadowing, I guess.
So, I guess they're in a Raider, and it says, the Raider's corridor, transporter room, and turbo lift are redresses of the Defiant.
Oh.
Or maybe that was from when they were in the Raider earlier, like when he first beamed over. Either way.
I'm sure it's the same shit.
Using computer graphics from Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. So that those computer graphics make it look different, I guess. So Also, to make it look different, they used the harsh red lighting. The Raider's bridge was a redress of the runabout cockpit, which had been redressed in the same style several months earlier as the Maquis Raider Valjean in the Voyager episode Caretaker.
Oh, Valjean.
Yeah.
It had a name. Oh, in the Voyager episode.
Yeah, in the Voyager episode.
Interesting. So yeah, they're intercepted by cloaked Alliance ships and dragged back to the station. Sisko greets Kira by grabbing and kissing her. O'Brien is taken away to the ore processing unit. Sisko has himself taken to Kira's quarters, much to Garrick's outrage.
But Kira's into it. She's like, yeah, no, totally.
Yeah, I want to get back to my sexually harassing this guy. In her quarters, after apparently they've had intercourse, according to Avery Brooks.
Yep.
Kira's like, should I kill you or keep you around as my sidekick / sex slave? And she's like, I don't know. And then she leaves, and Jennifer pays a visit.
He's very good at this bantering. I was impressed, where it's like, I mean, do I get a vote? And she's like, of course you do. It just doesn't count.
Oh yeah, Sisko's into it.
He totally is. He's like weirdly into it.
He's like, have sex with Dax? Okay. Sisko tries to convince Jennifer to join the rebellion, but she seems convinced that once she helps, or I guess, catch the rebellion, the Alliance will start being nice to the Terrans. No, that's dumb, says Sisko. Then he taps behind his ear, which sends a signal to O'Brien. Also, I guess they had some talk about their marriage or something, and then this was also the first time that Sisko saw Jennifer alive, but so I guess these are also important points of this scene, but it was kind of a long and boring scene, so
you're like, talky, yeah. Jeez.
He's like, Jennifer, and then she's like, okay, come join the rebellion. She's like, no. He's like, tap my ear. Okay. He's like, I'm sorry that apparently the alternate version of me, cheated on you with all those ladies. So he taps the thing on his ear, which sends a signal to O'Brien. O'Brien stops pushing his cart and then just gets to tinkering behind a panel. Sisko goes outside and easily takes out and disarms the 2 Klingon guards outside the door.
Yep, they suck. Klingons in the Mirror Universe always suck.
Yeah. They're like just the guard, they're like the stormtrooper, lame guys in this universe, apparently. So he asks Jennifer if she's in or out, and she's like, okay, whatever, I'm in, after that 4-minute scene, but I still hate you. He's like, deal. Then O'Brien is briefly confronted by a Cardassian guard, but he easily takes him out and disarms him. He's just like, punch, take gun.
Yep,
And then he gets the Terran workers all riled up into a revolt. So I guess if there was that Dukat anti-revolt program in there, he turned that off when he was doing his tinkering.
Yeah, I mean, we've never seen Dukat hanging around here. Kira's the one in charge of the station. It would have been funny if the same protocol started up, but it was Kira messages.
It's like all the exact same stuff. Sisko and Jennifer make their way down some corridors with Sisko dual-wielding some Klingon disruptors. They get cornered by some guys, but then get rescued by O'Brien and team. Unfortunately, when they get to their ship, they find the airlock blocked by dead Rom.
Yeah, so Garrick, or whoever killed Rom, they brought Rom to this airlock, stapled him to the wall, and then just left.
Yeah.
It's so strange that, we know they're going to be coming here, but whatever.
Rom spilled the beans on their whole plan, but they didn't go, take O'Brien or Sisko into custody.
Nope. Didn't move the ship or whatever.
Uh-huh.
As far as we know, anyway. I guess we don't know for sure that the ship was still sitting right outside the dead body, but...
But, yeah, so anyway, Kira and some dudes show up, and then Kira gives a villain speech where she reveals that they found out Rom was a double agent after they tortured him.
I do love that it's like, this guy came and gave us information that proved to be 100% accurate, but let's just torture him just in case, is Garrick's philosophy. And I'm like, you realize that if that's the way you operate, people are going to stop bringing you information.
Yep. And that lovable Rom, he was, like his brother, tortured to death. The situation seems hopeless, but Sisko's like, I have an idea. Let's run away in that direction where there aren't any people with guns.
It is so hilarious to me that the Kira and co are so shocked that they're not there anymore after the big speech. And I'm like, did you really think they were just going to sit there and listen to the big speech? I'd like, okay.
So she goes there, she's like, oh, there's hallways over here too? Damn it. And then my favorite line of the episode happens when Garrick yells, "Pursue!"
Oh yeah, it's a good Garrick line.
And that's what happens. They pursue.
Yep. They follow orders,
Yeah. They all meet up down in the ore processor where Sisko gets to work playing with a computer terminal. O'Brien locks the door, but it turns out there was a manual override, so that doesn't last very long. Which I like. They get down there and Kira's like, well, just use the manual override to open the door. And they're like, oh yeah.
Yep.
Then Kira and Thugs come into the ore processor and is like, come back, Jennifer, and this will all be forgiven. No, says Jennifer, I'm a Terran. Which would be much more impressive if Jennifer didn't know that they already had the upper hand.
I'm a Terran.
Right. Not so fast, says Sisko. I know the station's security code, Alpha 9175 Blue. I turned on the station's auto-destruct and changed the password, presumably to Alpha 9175 Blue 0. Which this also has the great moment when she's like, you don't know the password, and he's like, Alpha 9175 Blue. She's like, computer, deactivate auto-destruct sequence, Alpha 9175 Blue. Like, she's all embarrassed by it.
It is a great, it's a good moment. And as if he would not have thought to change it after.
That's kind of hacking 101, is you change the password first. Kira's like, give me the new password and you can go.
Yeah,
which amazingly they don't buy.
No,
they don't fall for that. Sisko's like, no, let us go, then we'll give you the password. Nobody should really trust anybody in the situation, but Kira gives in.
Well, I mean, that's her one chance at staying alive. Unless you think you can torture it out of Sisko in the time that it will take for the self-destruct to go off. So I think you got to take that chance. Honestly, Sisko probably should have just let the station blow up, but
yeah,
it doesn't do any good for the resistance or whatever to have that station there.
Well, I'm just reminded of there's a scene in the TV show The Americans where there's like the KGB and the FBI are making an exchange or something. And then FBI guy's like, how do we know you'll keep your word? And the KGB guy's like, don't we have a reputation for keeping our word? We do that just for this exact type situation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, maybe, it would be in their best interest to keep their word for later if they get into another situation like that.
Yeah, see, that's the thing about all of the shady organizations or whatever, is that, even among criminals, if you get a reputation for not keeping your word, then other criminals are going to stop wanting to deal with you if they can avoid it. But all that really means is that you have to make sure the times you break your word, no one hears about.
True. So if you're ever in that situation, you just got to make sure that there will be some way to verify after the fact that somebody kept their word or not. But we actually don't know if they kept their word or not, I guess. We presume
that's
they
true.
did.
It doesn't show us that the station survives, yeah.
But anyway, they go back to the secret caves. And it's a good thing that Jennifer wasn't a spy the whole time, just like planted to find out the location of their secret base. So she confronts Sisko about not being her husband. And Sisko's just like, look, I don't want to get into it. Smiley will explain the whole thing.
I'm out.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to go talk to the Romulans. She's like, no, you're not. He's like, yeah, you got me there. And then they say their goodbyes. O'Brien comes in and takes Sisko away to go home. The end.
Yeah, so apparently, like, Irish Stephen Bear is quoted in here as being like, we certainly had enough stuff that we could have kept that show going another hour. I thought the Sisko-Jennifer relationship was interesting. It was a nice way to bring Jennifer back, and I think we'll meet her again. Jake's got us here at some point. The action stuff was pretty cool. I thought that the look of the show is good. My only complaint was that we had to cram so much into too little time, which as I've already established, I do kind of feel like Jennifer just 180s really fast.
Yeah. Well, everything with Jennifer feels kind of rushed because it's like, this is his dead wife he hasn't seen in 5 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And he spends 1 second being like, oh man, Jennifer, and then he just gets right to it. And then, I don't know, that must have been a really crazy time for him seeing his dead wife and like spending time with her, but
banging his two lead female officers. Yeah, no, it's...
Yeah, strangely, he apparently bangs Dax and Kira, but does not sneak in some wife time. So,
Robert Hewitt Wolf pitched the story of Sisko going to the Mirror Universe to replace his counterpart. Wolf commented, "From there we went back and forth about whom should he rescue, until Ira came up with the idea that it should be Jennifer, which I thought was a stroke of genius."
Yeah, she very rarely even gets mentioned in the show, so...
It's true.
Like, even when I first saw her, it took me a while to convince myself that that was even the same actress from the pilot.
The smoke in the ore processing was requested by the director, Vinrich Kolbe.
Vinrich Kolbe.
Vinrich Kolbe.
Yeah, he says, "I like to use smoke because it gives an interesting visual. Plus, I think it takes the edge off of sets that we've shot 10,000 times. The cave set, for instance, has been shot over and over again in both Next Generation and Deep Space Nine."
So is this confirmation they just have one cave set?
It sounds like it, right?
Wow.
Nana Visitor hated the Intendant's rubber figure-hugging outfit, later claiming that it did not breathe at all. Between takes, she had to stand in front of a large fan to prevent her from sweating, as sweat tended to discolor the outfit.
Ugh. I was thinking about, I was like, is that like rubber? It's gotta be.
Apparently.
It's like that episode of, I don't know why suddenly, what was it, Friends, when like Ross gets leather pants or something?
The leather pants, yeah. The episode title is taken from the 1871 Lewis Carroll book Through the Looking Glass, in case you were unaware.
Nice. Okay. So,
I wonder what alternate Sisko thought when he first, and Smiley, when they first ran into alternate Bashir, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're the guy of that guy that we met."
Yep. There's got to be a whole story there, right? So maybe there's a
Maybe
novel.
they went and hunted down alternate Bashir. They're like, "Oh, this guy will be helpful."
It's like, oh, let's go find that really smart doctor guy, and they find him, and he's just like some asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Not too much on this
Nice. I was thinking, we should have like alternate Jake and alternate Nog, and then have a Mirror Universe episode where they're just like doing some random crap
one. That would be funny.
while people are like being tortured to death and stuff.
Yep, they're just off on a crazy, wild alternate adventure.
That would be fun. I could actually go for a whole episode of like alternate Jake and Nog. like alternate Jake and Nog come to the regular universe for some kind of crazy like
Scheme.
Yeah. That would be fun. See, we should have written on that show.
It's like, we've heard that self-sealing stem bolts are go for a lot here in this universe, so we decided to come over.
We've heard this universe has such advanced technology as self-sealing stem bolts
And reverse
rationing
routers.
planers or whatever.
Yeah. Classic alternate Jake and Nog, as far as we know.
With these reverse ratcheting planers, we will overtake the Alliance.
Reverse ratcheting router planers.
All right. Okay. My mistake. Oh, and I forgot. Yeah, Dax has an alternate hairdo.
Yeah, that when you were like land of the alternate hairdos, that was my first. I was like, well, I mean, not Bashir, or I mean, not O'Brien or Sisko,
Yeah.
but I guess Dax is different. Yeah,
I mean, Bashir. Yeah, mainly Bashir and Dax.
yeah, they're very
have the alternate hairdos. Bashir, I don't know how I would describe Bashir's, like, I describe it as bad boy. It's got kind of a biker, I don't know.
He's got like that, like 90s,
Yeah.
maybe like action.
Yeah, like a kind of, yeah, sort of like an 80s and 90s generic action guy.
Yeah,
Almost. And then her hair is very 90s also.
It's true. I mean, it was the 90s, so I guess you can't blame him too much for that.
It's like here in the Mirror Universe, we are very fascinated with the culture of the 1990s.
It is always the 90s in the Mirror Universe.
Yeah. If we had this guy who had an Easter egg hunt, if you could remember all of his 90s pop culture references, you could inherit his fortune.
That's what led the whole world down the wrong path.
Yeah. That's the divergence point right there.
Right.
Man, I just love I love Intendant Kira's style, where she's got like a male sex slave and a female sex slave.
Yep.
And she's just like lounging over them while like two guys gently like fan her or whatever.
She's living the life. I don't know what to tell you.
I can't believe regular Kira wasn't tempted by this. That first mirror episode is one of our few that has over 100 views on YouTube.
Wow.
I think it's because the thumbnail that has 2 Kiras in it.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it. Everyone wants 2 Kiras.
Right. This one doesn't have 2 Kiras, so it probably won't be as big a draw.
I mean, you could make it have 2 Kiras if you really wanted, but...
Yeah. Just I'll edit in the thumbnail from that last episode.
Just like get a Kira and another Kira and like crop the pictures together. Doesn't even have to be mirror Kira. It
just
can
the
be
exact
like
same picture twice.
Yeah, just flip it like horizontally.
Yeah,
it'll be great.
Yeah.
Or really, if it's gonna be two Kiras and you want people clicking the thumbnail, it should be 2 Intendant Kiras being all sexy.
Right.
Then people will be clicking on that episode for sure.
It's like, whoa, 2 Intendant Kiras?
That's how you get the views.
That's right. I have no ethical complaints about doing this at all. Well, that's all I got. If you're ready to jump into ratings.
Yeah, I guess we can rate. What do you think? How do you like this one?
Well, let's break this down into the good and the bad. The good is just wacky, crazy, alternate universe goofiness and shenanigans. But otherwise, like the plot is a little dumb, whatever. But it's just a good bit of cosplay, and everybody acting all crazy, regular Sisko getting weirdly into acting all crazy.
Yep.
We get more of the fun Kira and Garrick. Like, who's the Decepticon who's always challenging?
Starscream.
Yeah, it's like not Optimus Prime.
Megatron.
Megatron and Starscream.
That is very much that relationship. Yeah, you're right.
Or Krang and Shredder or something. It's like, all right, this is goofy and fun, but it's not really a very good episode in terms of like anything else, in my opinion. So I'm just gonna give it a Lieutenant Commander.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, as we previously established,
right.
I'm not a big fan of the Mirror Universe. I think I rated the last one like Lieutenant Junior grade. Uh-huh. This one, in my opinion, has some improvements over the last one, but also some areas where it's not as strong. Like, one of the best things about crossover, the first Mirror Universe that they do, is how deep we get into this new Kira, and we're learning about how she's all wacky and crazy and stuff. And she's still wacky and crazy, but we don't really spend that much time with her in this one. I guess we've already established her. We don't necessarily need to.
Yeah.
But we don't spend that much time with anyone from the Mirror Universe, really. I mean, probably Jennifer, not counting Smiley, who we spent a lot of time with in both episodes. Probably Jennifer is the only other one who really gets some screen time.
Yeah.
And I don't particularly like what they do with her character, where she's all about helping the Alliance for some reason, ostensibly because it will prevent deaths or whatever, which I have trouble believing she's dumb enough to believe that.
Yeah.
And then she does a 180 just because Sisko's like, come on, the Alliance sucks, right? Come on. And she's like, you know what? You make a convincing argument. And so it's really a big Sisko episode. We're following Sisko almost the whole time, and I don't have an issue with that, except that it's Sisko not being very Sisko, so it doesn't even feel like it grows his character that much, because he's got to play this weird other character, and then, like you say, he doesn't even react to Jennifer that much. You don't get the impression when he leaves that seeing her again has had a lasting influence on his life or anything.
Yeah.
So it feels like a big waste of time to me. We kill a second Ferengi, so I guess that's the only thing that feels like a permanent anything.
Uh-huh.
And we hadn't even met Rom before, so who actually cares? Probably the one good thing that I could pull out is that I did like the misdirect with Rom. I thought that was done pretty well.
Sure.
Enough that I'm sure that I fell for it the first time I saw the episode. The beginning of it where they just 100% throw us in the deep end, where it's like O'Brien shows up and here goes Sisko and we're off on the thing. Like they don't gently take us into this. They're just like, we're off and running. You better have seen that last episode or else
Right.
you're going to be real confused here. So I appreciate that. I appreciate them thinking the viewers are intelligent enough to have remembered stuff from the first time and to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Garrick has a couple of little moments that are fun, but even he doesn't get as much as he did the first time around, I don't think. So yeah, I don't particularly, I can't decide whether I like this one a little more or a little less than the previous one. So I think I'm just going to put it at a lieutenant junior grade and call them even.
All right. Yeah, you're right. That first one, like, that had some kind of good character moments with characters from the mirror universe.
Mhm.
Like, with Smiley realizing, hey, there could be more to life or whatever. Yep. And then Sisko kind of realizing, hey, I can, doing the old Han Solo or whatever, being like, hey, I can actually stand up for something.
Mm-hmm.
And in this one, the only mirror universe person who has an arc is Jennifer, but like you said, she just kind of gets there somehow, and then it's like her character is this, I guess, collaborate. She's from a rich family that's always been collaborating with the Alliance, and then so it's hard to like really even care that much for her to start with, but she's like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'll join your alliance or whatever. I would have been suspecting she was a spy the whole time, frankly. Like, it's like, this is some evil machination by Kira. There's no such thing as a trans censor, whatever.
The thing, yeah.
The thing that they said 1,000 times in the episode, and I can't remember it. The
transspectral?
Transspectral sensor array.
Yeah.
So, and then I also like the very beginning where O'Brien just shows up and kidnaps Sisko, and Sisko's like, let's just see where this goes. Everybody's like, yeah, some kind of thing is happening. He'll probably be back. No big deal.
And we never even see the reaction of anyone on the real station to what's going on. It's just like Sisko goes, and who knows what everyone is thinking, because we don't even see him go back. And there's the weird moment where like he shows up on the, I was gonna say the bridge in Ops, and then like
right,
Odo is walking Quark out, and O'Brien's like, I want a private word with you, and it's like, okay, Odo, you go on ahead. And then instantly, like, because Sisko's like, oh, you want that private word in my office? And O'Brien's like, no, I'm going to kidnap you.
Yeah.
And I was like, why even the whole, like, I want a private word thing? Was that to get rid of Odo? Because you literally spent 2 seconds after telling Odo that he wasn't needed. So I'm pretty sure he's still standing there, although I don't remember seeing him during that scene. So it's like Odo and Quark kind of vanish.
Yeah, was he going to be, can I have a private word on the transporter pad? And then that didn't work out. He was like, okay, just get on the transporter pad. Pulls the gun on him. I just imagine when like Sisko gets back, everybody's like, oh, hey, what did it turn out to be? And he was like, mirror universe.
Sure.
And everybody's like, oh, okay, cool. I'll look forward to reading that report. Also, at one point, like at the very beginning, he hands command of the station to some random lieutenant.
As you do.
I'm like, wait, who's that guy that you gave command of the station to?
Was it Jones?
It wasn't Jones.
It should be Jones.
I don't think he was just like, you have the station, Lieutenant. I don't even know if it's clear who he was talking to. And then O'Brien shows up. I was like, wait, what?
Random thought. I mean, because you could have made our Odo go into the mirror universe also. Like O'Brien could have kidnapped them both.
Sure.
And I was like, yeah, man, if Kira saw like our Odo, she might want to keep him because she lost her Odo.
Right.
And then I was like, wait a second. She was really disappointed about losing that Odo. Do you think that he was also one of her sex people?
Ooh. I think there's a high probability, yes.
Because we know that our Odo might be even kind of into that.
Sorry, all I can think about is that like balloon full of pancake batter exploding effect when Odo got shot.
Classic.
One of the greatest effects in Star Trek history.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess Kira was just doing so much work in the alternate universe, she couldn't even be bothered to be in that one, like, pre-alternate universe scene.
Right.
It's like, yeah, you can sit that one out.
This is
And
the
Dax.
second of 2 episodes with no real Kira or O'Brien showing up.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I forgot that whole... Because I was editing the episode before last episode.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been thinking about that one and this one. And I kind of forgot what was in between. But yep.
And
A lot of fantasy and alternate stuff going on.
yep, the only regular characters in the episode are Sisko, Odo, and Quark. And it's actually kind of funny because all 3 of them are dead in the Mirror Universe.
Oh, yeah. Or are they?
They probably are.
I'm sure there's novels where they're all alive. It's like, I reconstituted all my goo together and made myself again. Or something. Okay. You got anything else, or are you good to wrap it up there?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. Well, that does it for us today. If you've made it this far, thank you for listening. As always, check out the description. You may find links to interesting things. You may find nothing. Who knows? I'm Fletcher, about to say goodbye as Data.
See ya.
And until next time, don't forget. I wonder where the alternate Nagus is. But if you see the Nagus or the alternate Nagus, don't forget to kiss that Nagus stick.
In the alternate universe, it's like what else could it be? It's it could be like a ring, but that's a little bit trite. I don't know.
The Nagus could be something really.
What could the alternate Nagus have for people to kiss? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.